Some viewers may find this content disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. My creatures of the night, yes, you have returned again for another episode of Midnight Lycanthropy here on StarFox Radio. We have the Midnight Sentry, as well as Shane Michael Crisp from the West Coast Dogman Project, who have stopped in tonight to help us track down the Dogman. Yet I must replenish myself before we head out on our expedition. Yes, much better. I can feel the power oozing through my veins, and I am so ready to track down the infamous vermin known as the Dogman. So without further ado, it is time for Shane, the Midnight Sentry, and myself to take a walk into the darkness. July 4th, 1955, Kootenai National Forest, Libby, Montana. Miss Curtis hears distraught cries coming from her children who are playing outside during the afternoon. Quickly running outside, Miss Curtis is mortified to see a massive wolf-like creature cradling her 2-year-old daughter, Ida Mae Curtis, as it ran off on 3 legs bipedally. Running over to her remaining children, Miss Curtis is begging them to explain what happened. The children claim, as they were playing near the tent, Ida Mae was sitting inside, and this creature reached in and grabbed her. After 2 days of searching, on July 4th, 350 rugged and extremely experienced outdoorsmen in a heavy rain found little Ida Curtis in a crudely built shelter across the river 300 yards away from her initial abduction site. The girl was completely dry and extremely happy to see the men. After taking the girl out of the shelter and into their arms, Ida told the men, the best a 2-year-old little girl is capable of telling a story, that a wolf man had taken her away and put her inside this weird shelter and kept her there. When the men asked the little girl why she hadn't responded to their yelling for her or called out for any sort of assistance, Ida responded with, "Mr. Wolf wouldn't let me." The local sheriff at the time was so at the Curtis family story that he paid them 3 separate visits. The sheriff even went as far as telling them they needed to shut up and stop lying. It's not real. It never happened. And guess what? I don't want to come back here again and have this same talk. 2020, Yellowstone National Park, Montana. A game warden comes across a massive midnight black wolf that has recently a deer. Shortly after the savage mauling has occurred, two smaller coyotes try to emerge from the tall grass and approach the gigantic wolf, who seems very upset and bolts towards the two coyotes, chasing them off back into the tall grass. Once returning to its fresh, this enormous wolf never eats it. He just looks around and then casually trots off into the forest. May 16th, 2018, Denton, Fergus County, Montana. Population as of 2021, a whopping 208 people. A local farmer and his family are being terrorized by an extremely large and strange-looking wolf creature. It has been continuously attacking and taking their livestock and also some of their pets. Nearby neighbors and friends of the family have also been reporting seeing this strange canine creature, or others potentially. Ironically, these creatures have also been stealing their livestock and pets. Fed up, the farmer has baited this strange creature and is waiting in an area. As he begins to be able to track this mysterious creature, he fires upon it, and surprisingly, after numerous shots, he is able to kill the massive beast. The Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks Department were contacted, and after documenting and taking pictures, the farmer turned the animal over to the Montana FWP game wardens. Wanting to know what the animal was, he later contacted them and was foolishly told it was no more than a gray wolf. Living there his whole life and being an avid outdoorsman, the farmer said he was 100% sure this was not a gray wolf, and that he had seen plenty of these animals, and this creature looked way different and was much, much larger than any wolf he had ever seen. Wanting to further speak to the FWP, the farmer was unable to gather any more information on the strange animal, or even get in touch with the original wardens who had removed the creature.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the NADP Dogman Encounters in the West series, where I, Michael Crisp, will be reading to you encounters and sightings straight from the NADP archives. But before we get into this terrifying encounter, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell for all future notifications. Now let's get started.
This encounter comes from Carbon County, Montana, from an anonymous person. The date is August 15th, 2004. I'm probably the youngest person to come to you about this. I'm 16 years old, and I grew up here in Montana, and I'm very active in the outdoors. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I lived with my parents in a small town next to the highway. Our house was right next to it, and my room faced a gravel road that went into the highway. It was summer and we didn't have AC, so I would leave my window open at night so I could stay cool. One night, I woke up and noticed a silhouette standing outside my window. My eyes focused and I saw that it had a furry outline and these frost blue eyes it was using to look at me. I sat up in my bed, frightened, but I didn't feel the need to yell for my parents or anything. It just kind of stared at me. While looking at it, I saw that it had pointed ears with tufts of fur like lynx have and a muzzle like a German Shepherd. It was fairly muscular and was almost resting on my windowsill like it was leaning up against it. We stared at each other for a good couple of minutes. Then it smiled at me like a dog does and even tilted its head. It then backed away from my window, walked across my yard to our chain-link fence, and literally stepped over it. I got out of bed to watch this thing as it got down on all fours and ran down the road and across the highway. Listening, I heard it yip and bark while on the other side which was prairie with a butte and then forest. It was almost like it was calling to the others. Looking back on all this, I feel like maybe it felt like I didn't pose a threat. Maybe it was just curious. Back then, I was just a little kid. Now I'm a lot bigger. I'm 6'7" and weigh almost 200 pounds. So I'm thinking if I saw one of those things again, I probably wouldn't get the same reaction. If you would like to read more of these Dogman encounters, check us out on the web at www.NorthAmericanDogmanProject.com. Thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one.
In Carbon County, Montana, a man was driving home from work on a dark night when he saw a large, hairy creature standing on two legs by the side of the road. He slowed down and watched as the creature crossed the road in front of him on two legs, revealing a wolf-like face and a long tail. Herschel said he felt a chill run down his spine as he realized he was looking at something unnatural. He sped up and drove away, hoping to never see it again. The cultural impact of the Dogman in Montana goes beyond mere tales of a cryptid lurking in the woods. It has become a part of the local folklore, a story that is passed down through the generations, evolving and adapting with each retelling. The legend of the Dogman has been embraced by various media, from books to documentaries, further embedding it in the cultural fabric of the state. The story of the Dogman also raises important questions about our relationship with the natural world. It highlights how much of it remains wild and unexplored, and how this wilderness can still inspire awe and fear. In the accounts of those who claim to have seen the creature, there is often a sense of encountering something that does not belong in the modern world, or relic of a wilder, more primal earth. In conclusion, the legend of Montana's Dogman is a cryptic and intriguing facet of the state's folklore and cryptozoological history. Montana's vast and rugged landscapes provide an ideal backdrop for tales of mysterious creatures, and the fusion of indigenous beliefs with modern encounters adds depth to the legend. While skeptics may question the veracity of such reports, the Montana Dogman remains a compelling and mysterious figure in the realm of the unexplained, reminding us of the enduring human quest to uncover the secrets that lie hidden in the natural world.
Thank you again to everyone that invested time throughout their evening to stop by the Fox Den for this episode of Midnight Lycanthropy here on StarFox Radio. If you do enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, and share it. Feed the algorithm, because guess what? It's just as hungry as I am. I will see you on the next one.